Welcome to Ukraine Media Center. Your anchor this morning, the General Director of the National Philharmonic, Shved, and also the People's Artist of Ukraine, actor of the Franko National Academic Drama Theatre, Oleksii Palamarenko. Joining us online is the author of the poetry of that performance, Anatolii Matviichuk. Before we begin talking about the performance itself, let's have a look at a teaser to set the tone of this performance. The soul has touched a pen. Poetry is a language allowing a personality to feel all the soul's endeavors relating to today. We are living in a time that is extremely terrible and extremely exciting. This dualism is part of human condition. When you're a musician, you also always reflect the human's nature. So, shall we start with you? Let's talk about the form and then we'll talk about the contents. A performative psychodrama, quite an experimental endeavor for a National Philharmonic, isn't it? Will you tell us what the format supposes? Welcome and thank you for your interest in our initiatives at the Ukraine Media Center. I would like to kick off by saying that Philharmonic is developing a project under the name The Music for the Unconquered, which is a means to confront Russian aggression. One of the areas in this program is the psychological nature of our people. We have to be resilient. We have to stand up. Everyone has been facing a challenge, both physically and emotionally. As personalities, we are going through a testing time. This is where the art comes in handy. The art helps us to go through this terrible crisis that we are seeing around us. Of course, this is very important for us to begin creating artistic programs, giving people not only a hope, but also giving a chance to reflect on what is going on now. The poetry by Mr. Matviichuk is so powerful in showing where we are going, whether there will be light at the end of the tunnel. And this light of the end of the tunnel is something we want to portray before our audiences. His poetry and the project combines poetry, music, and the music by such outstanding Ukrainian authors as Stankovich or Silvestro. We use a lot of musical instruments, including organ and piano, and of course we will also include sound animation presentations. One of the exciting things is the actor of Anatolii Palamarenko and Oleksii Palamarenko, the People's Artist of Ukraine, and Oksana Tarnavska, who was originally an actor in Kherson. Now she's living in Kiev. In other words, this is a synthesis that perhaps other participants will be delving into, but we want our audience to reflect on today. We are all following the news. We are seeing the lives of around us. We know what it means. People have been rendered homeless. People have lost their relatives and loved ones. But we have to be strong. We have to be resilient. We want our audience to leave the performance with this strong sense of human dignity and strength. We hope this will be an everyday practice of ours. We also would like to emphasize that we invite our military and medical personnel who are fighting for the lives of our defenders and about their health. This is an important area of this project and the point of rehabilitation for our soldiers. Anatolii, I would like you to join us online. Mr. Matviichuk is the author of the lyrics of this performative psychodrama. We have also heard now that this is a reflection, a drama of reflection. What are the feelings of the main character? What is it that you want to reflect on and get the message through? I welcome everybody, and you, dear Ankar and Mykhailo and Oleksii, people who are so close to me in terms of their talent and their spirit. Never before would I think that Philharmonic will be in the vanguard, in the front line of the intellectual, artistic movement. The times we are living through are very dramatic. We want to reflect on it. It requires synthesis of genres. All the strings that have never been plucked before have to be voiced. Popular culture was dominating. I am myself coming from this world, and I became sad among all the three music chords, and I thought it was time that I should develop the possibilities and intellectual level of my people. My poetry is quite reflexive because my background is journalism, and I am used to responding to painful moments of our lives, and it gives me a lot of pleasure that a young director, dear Shved, belongs to people who think alike. They realize that poetry, music, and even some visual genres at the same visual presentation are able to touch a personality in a novel way. It makes people think and reflect. This is a psychodrama, isn't it? Why is it so? Because in the moments, the terrible moment that Ukraine is coming through, the people are filled with uncertainty in tomorrow's day, fear and despair, painful emotions, terrible emotions, but indeed the space of human being should be filled with harmony and love. What do harmony and love give us? Where do they come from? It comes from the non-verbal genres as music and specific verbal art of poetry. When music of such beautiful authors as I have already mentioned, and it combines with poetic imagery leading you to other dimensions of our human reflection, multiplied by a professional play of beautiful actors who know how to give over the emotions, the word, by the shade of their voices. They make us feel something new and novel. It all gives us a hope that we are on the verge of something important, significant, and symbolic. I am envious of the public who will come and see the thing. Unfortunately, I am across the ocean in California, where from I bring you greetings. But I am Ukraine-centered, and I know what happened a couple of nights ago when Kiev was bombarded. I didn't have a minute of sleep. I was writing, thinking it was a psychological test. In other words, the ocean that seems to be between us, we are all together. It's just that we are sitting in different studios. Let us announce what the poetry is all about, what emotions and feelings and the content that you wanted to get across. You see, it all begins with the fact that a human being is something that psychiatry knows about. You have to reflect and remember who you are. You have to remember your name, your age, the place you are living in, so forth. You have to go back to your childhood. You have to reflect on the world around you, see specific people. You have to realize and live up to the system of coordinates around you. The world perpetually is the same. The brands of cars are different. We used to go on horse cars. We are now driving the cars, but the archetypes of a human being have not been changed, and these archetypes are acting in our drama. The archetypes include such types as an artist. Homer, he was an unparalleled writer, writing about epic scenes in the ancient times. Agape, the symbol of the unconditional love. Whatever happens, agape looks at the world through the prism of life. Cassandra, a personality that stands watch over the human's personality. She is banging her head against the walls of silence, but she will not be heard. She will not be heeded until the rock, the destiny, knocks at your door. And lastly, but very importantly, a human being who wants to overcome the fear, the despair, wants to fill its soul with positive things that shows you the exit, the better future, the light at the end of the tunnel. I'm talking about the fact that human soul is immortal. You have to think about and fill your soul with immortal things, not with hatred, not with despair, not with the terrible feeling of this constant disaster. Prospect, the hope, the life, the children that are also participating is something that makes me wonder. There's a children's simple poem that we hear. You see, we know I was living in a district of Kiev that was so terribly bombarded, and we have included this children's counting poem. This is why I think has been a product of a reflection upon specific events, even if those events have not yet happened. These events will shape our reality and will lead in an associative way towards next steps of our life. This is the essence of it. Thank you. You have intrigued us about the specifics of this drama. Oleksii, can I turn to you? As a lead actor, who is your character? Who is he addressing? What is he going through? It's a personality trying to come to terms with what's going on, trying to find the answers to perpetual questions. Who am I? What am I doing here? Thanks to music, thanks to poetry, and at the end of the day, these ways are identified. You see, it's not that I'm that smart. Smart people said that there's a simple way to resolve the most complex issues. To begin with the most simple things is a way to find the bottom of truth. I love poetry by Anatolii Matviichuk. Why? I love it because there is a very simple thing, but it's a complicated simplicity. It's like a prayer, like your mom's lullaby. Lullabies are not complex. They're simple. They're clear. They're lucid because they talk about God. They think about simple things. When we pray in simple words, but it's a concentrated of high spiritual things. You see, over these nights, and I am a resident of the district that was the center of attack of the recent shelling. When you are a man, you are so frightened, and this is natural. When you see the death flying by, let's call spade a spade, when you see young moms with their children, with their kids, you are so frightened to see that you are so weak. You will not believe what I was thinking about. I was thinking about this performance of ours. My friend once told me, what is the difference between courage and heroism? Courage is when the painful point is very low, when you're so excited, you are acting in a unknown mode, but daring, bravery is when a man is frightened, but he or she makes herself or himself do something, help others. My people that I know are asking me, how do you overcome such a stress? Not that I am advising you. Who am I to advise you? But I'm sharing with you my personal experience. The tragedy can be overcome when we are all together, when you are trying to help others, when you are rendering aid to those who are going through painful experience, when you are living through these stresses. They will not pass away. They are there in your soul, but they will not detain you, restrain you from acting for something good. When you're working on your character, in the poetry that you are reading that has been written for this stage, what were you thinking about? What is the most difficult point of preparing this performance? Well, basically what Anatolii has written are raising the issues that I am asking myself in prose, of course, and during this full-scale invasion. Over these shellings, I'm asking myself, how can I transform poetry into our general shared feelings, including the feelings that I have come through, is that he is writing in a way that I will not be able to verbalize. So we have this a chord that we are sharing. You are asking about the difficulty. The difficulty is now how actor is acting in mastering poetry. It's not that you are reading through the lines. You want to get the intention of the author. If public would read the poetry, they can do it by themselves, but we are entering upon the stage to set up something that I will not call it a birth of the word. I will not dare, but the illusion of the birth of the word. This is what we want our audience to feel and see. The thought gives an opportunity for poetry to be alive. There is no constant feeling how the poetry should be read. Everyone is reading poetry in his and her own way. But once these words have been warmed and shaped by your fantasy and your soul, they will get through to your audience. Mykhailo, can I turn to you? When will we be able to see the stage? It'll premiere this week on the 24th of June, 1900 at the National Philharmonic. There are a couple of seats available yet. It's almost been sold out. What are the plans as far as the performance goes in Kiev and other cities? Perhaps you will go through Ukraine and to other countries. This is the issue that we'll be thinking about. The tours perhaps will be done. We want to make a record before, but of course we'll be doing guest performances in different Ukrainian cities. What Anatolii has mentioned, this deep reflection of today must be shared with people. It must be with people. It must be with us. So we'll be thinking and doing our tours as much as we can. I hope these plans will come to fruition. We'll be talking about the performative psychodrama ludina.com.ua premiering next Tuesday at the National Philharmonics. Ukraine Media Center will resume our operation at 12 o'clock. We'll be talking about business with reputation and those who are shaping new business environment in Ukraine. Stay tuned.